the Belmont clan, the Phantom Thieves, and that one monster hunter duo who actually brought healing items. Once in a while, powerful forces combine to change the course of history, and sometimes two good friends team up just because they happen to have microphones, questionable memories, and a shared addiction to game bundles. Bundles are broken down, memories are booted up, and the only thing epic is how long it takes us to remember that game from 2009. Welcome to Humble Talk.
So Persona 5.
No, of course. When this bundle was announced, because I always wake up earlier than you. Obviously, there's a time difference, but I'm just a morning person. And as soon as I saw that, I jumped into Discord and sent you that smug GIF. With a message. So that first game, huh?
Yeah. Wait a minute. I have to. So you say GIF?
Yeah, I know. I do switch back and forth between the two.
I sometimes do too. So the reason why I started doing that, I'm already getting off tangent. We only just started, but the reason why I do that is because my brother told me that apparently the creator of GIFs or GIFs said that it was pronounced GIF.
Yeah, that's my reasoning too.
It's like hard for me to like I want to say GIF because that's how I've always said it. But since literally the creator said that that's how you should be saying it, I feel like I should be saying GIF now.
Yeah, out of respect, right? Yep.
Right.
I'm the same.
Anyway,
as well.
sorry.
Yeah, just
yes.
I mean, as you said, it was just a matter of time, right? Because it must have been before I was getting the bundle, or rather during that few year stint where I wasn't getting it, where you got Persona 3, and then one of the very early reviews where we're at least like already corresponding. I don't think we're doing our our collaborations, that kind of stuff. We're already like talking about the different games in there, and
that's right. I do remember us having a little back and forth about Persona 4.
Yeah, and like JRPGs just being horrible to review in general.
Right. Yeah.
And you were right. It was just a matter of time, and this one dropped, and this is a banger. This is a good one.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yes. Persona 5, obviously, like if anybody has any inclination to want to get this bundle, but they're not sure, but they really want Persona 5, this is kind of like a no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
Bundle.
So much value in that one game alone. It's $15 for a game that even on sale, it's like usually like 25, maybe $30.
Right. Yeah, I think even on like a sale, this is still cheaper than anything that it's ever been.
Yeah.
If you literally just wanted only Persona 5.
Yeah.
This was my game. I put in about a couple more hours into the game. So, originally, like a lot of the times I put in maybe like an hour or so to a game, like we've talked about before, like an extra hour, maybe less if it's a game that I'm not really that enthused about.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one, I had planned on just doing like an hour and moving on, because we were originally going to be doing this talk earlier, but it didn't happen. But I just couldn't really put the game down, which I'm sure to you that's not surprising at all.
Nope. That's how they get you.
Yeah, and it was the one of the things is I wanted to get up to that point where like I felt like the game opened up for me. Yeah. Where like I actually was planning out my days. And I never really quite got there. Like it still kind of was like tutorial.
Yeah.
A bit, even within like, I don't know, I was like over 3 hours at that point.
Yeah, that tracks.
But I mean, the other big reason was I just was like, I was into the story. Like I wanted to see that teacher get his comeuppance, that Kamoshida. Like I just really wanted to see him like, oh man, what a jerk.
Yeah.
Right. And but yeah, the story itself, like, I wanted to learn more about the characters. There was a bit more combat, but it still wasn't really a whole lot of combat for me to really feel one way or another about the system. I mean, I think one thing it did that was kind of different was like when you what is it, when you knock an enemy down or something like that, then you get that like you get another shot they get another turn.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, I think probably the biggest takeaway from the fights and just the game as a whole is just like how much style this game has.
Yes.
Like everything is like just, chef's kiss like everywhere.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. And yeah, you're absolutely right about the soundtrack. The soundtrack's just amazing. Like that will definitely be something I'll be listening to when I'm just working on something.
Oh
Like,
wow,
I'm sure I'll be
that's like
listening to
high
the soundtrack.
praise. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked I mean, I don't usually seek it out, but that's sort of like, kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, that sort of funky sort of
Yeah,
sound.
it's
Like I
like
kind of like that.
modern
Kind of like that.
jazz, bit of funk
Yeah,
mixed in
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like that. But yeah, I think probably if there's like any real knock, would just basically be that like there's quite a bit of talking and front loaded exposition
Yeah.
in the game, which I could see would like maybe turn some people off. But I mean, that's kind of like how RPGs tend to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
like in general. So I think if anybody's going into an RPG, especially a JRPG, which they are notorious for front loading, um like I think they are gonna already know what to expect. And but yeah, like I mean, just everything else just like elevates this game so high. I was actually really surprised at how much of the game was actually voiced.
Yes. Yeah,
um
it's most of it. I want to say about 80%.
Oh, okay, that's good to hear, because like that was something I actually wanted to ask you. Like, I wasn't sure if it was just like because it was the beginning of the game, so I'm getting a lot of voice scenes. But yeah, that's really good to hear. Like, I mean, there were some moments, right, that didn't have that weren't voiced, but the sections felt so like it felt like there was more voiced sections than unvoiced sections. Like,
Yeah.
like as at least as far as it goes with the main story. Like, I don't know how it might be for side content, and of course, like just random chatter on the street. That's always gonna be not
Yeah,
voiced.
yeah.
But yeah, I was really amazed, and yeah, it's really well done. The voice acting. So yeah,
Yeah. You were obviously listening in Japanese, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I was. I mean, I'm guessing that the English is probably pretty good too, because I know that there was like some really popular, like I think Yuri Lowenthal was like one of the voices of one of the characters, and there's like a bunch of, I'm sure like pretty much all the normal like usual suspects that you see who voice in games or anime, like for the English versions, I'm sure like they're all here. But yeah, I don't, yeah, Japanese.
Yeah. No, I haven't even listened to any of the English stuff, except for like little snippets
Right.
on YouTube videos here and there. But
Right,
I hear
right.
nothing but good things about the English one as well, which you don't hear often about like both the Japanese and English one. So Atlas
Right.
and
Right.
I think Sega was the publisher, but yeah, they obviously put a lot of effort into getting the right cast and put a lot of resources into it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, now just like my biggest thing is trying to find like 120 hours to give to this game, basically.
Well, it depends on what you do. If you unlock all the royal stuff as well, it's definitely like on the higher end. If you just do the vanilla stuff, it's probably, you could do it in 80, which mind you, it's still not a short amount.
Yeah. Well, see, like I know the type of player that I am. I will try, unless it's like so, like it's either so mind bending or it's so much like just busy work. I will probably do like everything in the game, or almost everything in a game that I play. Like that's just kind of like how I am. So I'm sure I brought this up to you before, like, Assassin's Creed's like my go-to, like, fast food type game.
Yeah.
When I just want to like relax. I will pretty much 100% those games. Like these days, like I for the Assassin's Creed Origins, that was like 120 something hours.
Nice.
For me, because I did all of the DLC.
Yeah.
And that took me probably about a year and a half to get through
Yeah.
that whole game. So if I were to sit down and try to play Persona 5, it will probably take me about a year and a half to get through the whole game.
Yeah. Trying to think how long real life. Obviously, I've got the Steam Deck, so it's a bit different for me. Plus, I was taking my Steam Deck to work and doing it in my lunch breaks. And there were long lunch breaks too. Like, I'd spend the first 15, 20 minutes, eating, and then the remainder, let's say 40 minutes playing my Steam Deck. So I was getting at least 45 minutes in on a weekday, and then at nighttime after
Hey,
the
there
kids
you
are
go.
down, maybe an hour here or so. It was probably 3 to 4 months real life, and that was also like, I'd have sections where I play it a lot, and then other sections where I'm just doing like little bits every day, and then I'm pretty sure there was like 2 weeks there where I wasn't doing it. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can get back to the game, and I was playing like a good halfway through it as well, and I was
Right.
at that that risky point of, this is a fantastic game, I want to play it, and then just don't pick it up again. And I'm so glad I
Right,
did, because
right.
it just keeps getting better and better and better as you keep going through.
Oh, okay. Oh man,
Yeah.
now I really want to. I really want to play it now.
This it
Actually, putting the time. I mean, I do really want to play it, but actually putting the time to playing it.
it's a big investment, but I think it's worth it. To date, it's my favorite game I've played on the Steam Deck. And it was one of the first ones I played on the OLED deck as well. It looks absolutely gorgeous with the OLED screen. Just because everything's so like super realistic, all the style and the way it's presented, like it's just really vibrant colors, and it looks so good on the OLED screen.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, the production value of the art is, it's basically like watching, an anime, basically. Like it's it's really good. A high quality. Yeah, I remember now, actually. You had said that you picked up Persona 5 because of getting Strikers, right?
Yeah, so I obviously we both got Strikers in choice, and we reviewed it. Although originally for me it didn't work, and I had to come back and do it once I found a fix.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
And we can thank Denova for that. It's what the root cause of that is.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
yeah. Anyway,
nobody likes.
but a viewer commented and said, you need to pick up Persona 5. It's really good. You'll like it. And I put it on my wish list and picked it up when it was on sale, and it went on the backlog for a good few months, 4 months. And I think I'd gotten through. I had more gaming time back then, and I'd gotten through all of the Humble Choice reviewers for that month, done my video. I don't think we were doing the podcast at that point there, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just start Persona 5, give it a go. And it was the same kind of thing as you, really. I think as far as JRPGs go, it's pretty reasonable in terms of not doing it too much, but it does front load because it kind of has to, really. But I think it is a bit more engaging for players who are not so used to that, or not as willing to put up with that. But once I got through that section there, and essentially, as you said, like the tutorial, it's really one massive tutorial up until about halfway through the second palace, really, which is in game time, almost 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
certainly a month and a half. That's when they finally take off the training wheels, and you're allowed to do everything. You do get like a bit of time management, managing your days, what you do before that, but it really takes off in full from there and just keeps going. But yeah, once I'd gotten through, even before that, I was kind of really into it. But once I'd gotten through that, it was, I just couldn't put it down. Such a good game.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess since then, have you went back to Strikers?
No. So after getting Persona 5, obviously the next one on the list on the backlog was that, but I picked up the Tactica, Persona 5 Tactica, I'm pretty sure is what it's called, which is...
I think I remember you telling me about that briefly. It's like that chibi.
That's the one, which
yeah,
it puts me off. It puts me off, but it's kind of an extension of the story. All the Persona 5 stuff is considered canon, and so I do kind of want to do it just for that.
Even the mobile game that's been out, that mobile game.
Well, that one I'm not quite sure. That one is it's using new characters in it. It's like from what I understand, it's like an alternate universe.
Oh, it is. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Is my understanding of it. But I've never played it. I've never seen footage of it being played, so I have no idea.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, but the way it's done, you could easily skip over the story of Tactica, and most people have, and it wouldn't impact it at all. It doesn't change a single thing, really. It's just using up time from the original games that wasn't being used. Nothing was happening for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's got new characters, which are very... they're all contained just to the Tactica experience. And that's something I need to get back into actually. But
Okay.
it's more. It appealed to me because it's Persona 5 and it's the XCOM style. And I mean, just like the combat for Persona 5, it takes that normal genre that it's doing. So for the original Persona 5, it's the JRPG. For Tactica, it's XCOM, and it does change it up and makes it a bit more snappy than the original. Or the rather what most other titles are doing in that space. And so I do enjoy it for that, but it doesn't quite have the same appeal as the original. Mostly probably because of the visuals, just because it's chibi.
Yeah. That would kind of be. I'm not a big fan of the chibi look.
I
So
just don't get
I'm
why
not.
they did it. Is it trying to appeal to the audience? They thought that was what was popular at the time? I don't know. Don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. But once I'm through that, I will then go into Strikers because based on chronological order, that would be it. The one thing I'm not looking forward to though is Royal was released after Strikers, and there's things and certainly characters in Royal that are not in Strikers as a result of
Oh,
that,
I
which is going
didn't
to be a little bit
realize
jarring.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Huh.
But apart from
And
that,
I'm assuming that you have not went back to Persona 4, correct?
no, not since we reviewed it. That one's hard to get
That-
into because it's, again, not intentionally. They were the graphics at the time, but it's that chibi style. It just puts me off.
Okay. Yeah. It's not quite the same. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely like it has a little bit more of
Yeah.
a dated look.
Yeah. Having said that, though, they teased it recently. They're planning on doing a remake of Persona 4 using the
Oh,
entire system from Persona 5. I assume the
oh
Royal one.
yeah.
And
Okay.
that small bit that I saw looked amazing. I would happily play that.
Okay, yeah, that I do remember seeing that. I had just forgotten about that though, and up until now, because I was actually going to say that that would be the reason why I would probably play Persona 5 is because I know that if I played 5 first, it would be hard for me to go back more than likely. But if they're just going to go and do something like that, like I'll just play the remake or remaster or whatever it's being called. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that definitely
That's the way to go.
that would be pretty cool.
That's the way to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
I like the the subculture, and it's specifically the Reddit, but there's just so many memes. It's such a popular title that, of course, it's developed this huge following around it. And you have people arguing why this character you could romance is the best character, and no this
Oh,
one, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
and then you've also got not even like the characters you could romance, but just like people making their own memes about different characters as well, and just using that. And but then also one of my favorites is the whole meme for Cuck the Cat. So a lot of
Cat?
I won't go into too much detail, but a lot of people dislike Morgana, the character, just because a lot of stuff happens. Just
Oh, okay.
and even early on, like you see, he's kind of infatuated with the character Anne, and just out of a spite for Morgana, there's this following of people who every time they romance Anne, not because they think the best fit for your character or they themselves are drawn to her, is just to cuck the cat, and it's one of my favorite memes ever.
That's great. That's great. Wow. Yeah, just speaking of like all the different like relationships that you could build in the game, presumably, like outside of just like romantic relationships as well. It seems to me from what I understand that it's kind of like based off of like how you spend your days. Like is it possible to have like to max out friendship meters or whatever with everybody
It is
by the end of the
It
game
is.
or
You have to play
Oh,
very
okay.
optimal though. There's
Okay.
I don't want to go into too much, but there is one character you can get after about 3 or 4 months, and if you get to a certain confidant level with them, you can then pay money to have interactions you do with other characters, or anyone really. You can get a stronger boost to your relationship with them, and if you do that, and also always make sure you have a persona of that person's, not class, I've forgotten what it's called, but of their tarot card. If you've always got one on them, then you get the another boost as well. So it can be done. And in fact, my playthrough as well, I did manage to do that.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, I guess excluding like any sort of like romantic relationships that you might pursue, like I was wondering like, okay, how many times do you actually have to play this game see everything that you might want to see, just because of you needing to, be efficient with how you're spending your days and choosing who you spend time with and things like that.
Yeah, you can see pretty much all of it. There's a few things though, like 3 or 4 events where you choose who you hang out with, and usually it's a romantic interest that you have there, or you default to friends. Like I'm pretty sure it's always male friends, or the very new possible romance interest that's been introduced. You can always do that one as well.
Okay.
But then, so aside from those ones there, you can go through all the relationships there. You could even do the harem route, which when you do that, you can actually date all of the female love interests, which then I don't want to go into too much again. It does cause a bit of a weird like comedic event to happen, but then it's also as if it never happened as well after it happens. So it's a bit forgiving on the player. Whereas I think from what people are saying, the past Persona ones, if you did that, then it was kind of like a Witcher 3 thing where you kind of, if you romance both characters, then you end up getting into a lot of trouble. Whereas this one, it's much more forgiving, which a lot of people don't like. But you can experience most of what the game has to offer in just the first run.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, I'm kind of surprised, actually. Okay. I'm assuming... you have nothing more to say about Persona 5?
I mean, I could keep talking for ages, but
Yeah.
I'll just say this: it's a good game. If you haven't got the bundle already, if you don't have Persona 5, then pick it up because it's as Stealthy said, it's a no-brainer.
Most definitely, yeah, most definitely. Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. So this one was also my game. Although, like I said to you before we started, I didn't get to play this as much as I would have liked, despite this being my the one that I really wanted to play. And so, I mean, like I said, I mean, like I said in my review, the biggest reasoning why is just because this setting and I think the themes that it's trying to talk about are just right up my alley.
Yeah.
Like the setting, I think I told you that one of the things that kind of led me on my path to Japan was that I was a grad student for Meiji Japanese history. But before that, originally, I was actually thinking my focus was going to be on colonial America.
Right.
So this type of setting is just oh yeah, I love this type of stuff. And then when you throw in ghosts and a ghost story and stuff like that, yeah, this is a nice pairing for me. So I was really really into it for that. But I think one thing that this game does, and so I did get, this isn't really spoiling anything given that it's literally written right on the Steam page, but I'm not sure if you're aware, but the woman and Antea, she dies.
Yeah, I came across that.
And then it's the whole thing where Red has to try to either come to terms with this and, allow her to pass on over the course of the game, I presume, or, try to go the other way and see if you can't bring her back to life, which of course that means, you're probably gonna have to do some not so nice things in order to make that work.
Yeah.
Right. And moral grayness in the theme, or especially in choices that a player has to make, I really like that kind of stuff.
Me too.
When you're just sitting there on the choice screen and you just sitting there being, man, what do I do? Should I do this? Should I do this?
Yeah.
I really want to do this, and just as a theme, just in the, I mean, not that this this has been done to death in movies and books and all that, but the whole what would you do for someone that you loved? It's a very relatable sort of a thing, I think, for most people. So yeah, those things are the things that really draw me to this game. But I think I really wanted to dig more into the combat and see does it get better? Unfortunately, I still have not gotten to the part where you start having skills, be available and putting points into that and seeing what level progression is like. So I still it's that same combat system that you see in the first couple hours of play. And it's it's fine. It just felt kind of okay, not really the greatest. Like I would almost say like it's maybe a little bit clunky feeling, but I can't really put my finger on why that is. It doesn't feel like as smooth as maybe like other kinds of games like this. But yeah, I mean, I guess like okay, so since Antea dies, and she is still like a main character in the story though, because now she's in the form of a ghost. So I did get to that part where like she could help you in combat. She can do like more damage, I guess, to ghost type enemies and things like that, but you have to choose when you can use her or not because her power wears out and you have to like recharge it and things like that. And so I'm hoping that they might be able to create some semi interesting fights, surrounding that mechanic. And then she's also used in like I guess like in investigation. But basically like so far she's basically just been like a glorified metal detector telling me like when treasure's nearby. But it's because I haven't gotten far enough to get to like another like haunting investigation.
I see.
But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I definitely want to play it. I was surprised that on how long to beat it said it was like something like 40 something hours to play this game. For some reason I was thinking in my head like this is probably like a 15-20 hour game tops. It's like 40 something hours. I was like, wow, this is quite a bit longer than what I expected it to be. Especially given that the publishers don't nod. Like they just did like those like story adventure type games, right? Like
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange, right? Yeah. So I'm surprised that they did this. Although I think they also did Vampire, I think.
I don't remember if it was them. You could very well be right.
Yes,
they did.
Here we
Good
go.
memory.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So
They did
that was
Vampire.
from memory, like a 20-hour one with combat.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure. I have it in my library, but I have yet to play it. But it's yeah. So I guess they do have experience though making like like RPGs and things like that. So maybe it's not quite as surprising. Did you get to play this anymore, or
no?
Any other thoughts
not.
you might have on it?
No, unfortunately not. Even though I had like some, I think, reasonable settings for good performance on the deck. Well, that's the first big thing. It performed a lot better on the deck than I thought it would. I was pretty impressed.
Oh yeah.
There were like a few, I don't want to say drops. There were a few times where the frame rate was lower based on what was happening on the screen, but it wasn't really noticeable. Like I wouldn't have ever noticed it if I didn't have the frame rate there, and I was also going back and checking it when doing the review. But even then, though, it didn't. I think, yeah, to get it running so well, you do need to have the settings not so visually appealing. And depending on like the lighting, so like the dark areas and then flame light just didn't look so good on people's faces. And that's always going to be the first thing to go, right? When it's graphics, it's the faces. It's not the scenery or the buildings. It's always the faces don't look quite as good.
Yeah.
And in a game where it's very story heavy, conversation heavy,
dialogue heavy.
Yeah, you do feel that a bit, unfortunately. And so I've kind of been putting off, well, not that I really have been putting it off, I just don't have the time to do it, but it's not high on the priority list if I did have time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I was going to go back to a game like this, there's a lot of parallels between this one and Thaumaturge. I think I'd go back to Thaumaturge over this one.
Okay. Yeah, Thaumaturge, that's another one that's kind of like, I really want to play that game.
Yeah.
On the topic of performance, there actually was one other thing that I wanted to mention.
Yes.
I actually came across like a weird sort of like graphical glitch that whenever I'd get into combat, I'd have like these weird sort of like, I don't know, bars or whatever appear on the bottom and the right-hand side of my screen.
Right.
I didn't really know what was causing that, but I think I figured it out when I played it the other day. It's because this game really want you to be installing it on a solid state drive. And I had it installed on a hard drive because I noticed in the options they had a like an HDD compatibility mode.
I see.
So because I checked that and then it started like everything was working just fine. But yeah, I didn't realize that was something that maybe I should have looked at the recommended settings, or maybe in the recommending settings it says that. But that wasn't anything that normally when I play Humble games, I will install them on my hard drive because I'm probably going to uninstall them, like uninstall them like soon after, and maybe not get around to playing them again. So I tend to only keep games that I'm going to be playing for a long while on my solid state.
I see. Yeah, I always judge it based on the game size and what it looks like. And this one, like looking at it, I'm like, this has to go on a solid state drive. So I'm glad I did then, listening to what you're saying.
That should probably be the way I approach it in the future. But I just, a lot of the times I don't have the space on my solid state drive to try and, because like I have like other things that I'm playing. I have my problem is like I have a lot of games that I play, like, you know, maybe with like other people, but then we only really get together to play like maybe once or twice a month, or like if we end up skipping, then it's like I don't end up playing until next month. But this is like an 80 gigabyte game that has to sit on my drive. So yeah.
Yeah, I do that all the time. The other one is like the game that you used to play with a group of friends a while back. You might get back into it, you're not sure, and you just leave it there for ages.
Yep. There's that. Oh, and then the other one is the game that you played for a while, but then you stopped playing, but you're always like, I don't want to uninstall it, because I know if I uninstall it, I'm not going to go back to this game for like another year, even though it's already been a year since you last played the game. That happens to me all the time. I'll just go like look at my, like on the Steam page, like on my library, and be like, last played, you know, X amount of like months ago, and it's like, I probably should just uninstall this game. I'm not going to play. If I haven't played it by now, I'm not going to play it.
Yeah.
So speaking of games that needed to go on the solid state drive, my Time at Sandrock.
And you warned me about that one before I installed it, before I downloaded it, so I'm very glad you did. I would have, this one because it was a large file size, I might have thought about it, but I probably would have chucked it on the micro SD card just because it doesn't look like it's going to be that graphic intense.
Right. I think it just has like a lot of stuff to load, because that was what happened, right? So I got into the game and it just took forever to load. I was like, wow, why is this taking a long time? I had the sneaking suspicion that maybe it needed to be on a solid state drive. And then once I got onto the main menu screen, like, oh, your thing took like an unusual time to load, you know, maybe check to see if, you know, if it's installed in a solid state, or like re-verify the files or something like that. And then I went to the page and it was like solid state drive. I was like, okay, I guess I'll uninstall this and reinstall it.
Right.
But yeah,
it's pretty cool the game's got a check like that.
Yeah. Maybe Banishers could have benefited from that. I don't know.
Mind you, I haven't heard of a hard drive compatibility setting before, so that's quite impressive.
Yeah, same. Yes.
I'm trying to think in my head how they do that, but it's probably preloading things more, I guess.
Maybe. I have no clue. Don't know anything about that. So,
let's just go with that. It sounds smart. It sounds like I know what I'm talking about. So
sounds like the
let's go with that. It's either that or the little elves in the computer who make it run faster. So
right. Okay, so yeah, my Time at Sandrock. I wanted to take this game because, like I told you at the time, I wanted to try to compare it to last month's Ever After Fall, which, you know, I wasn't really a big fan of the game. I thought that was like pretty by the numbers and a bit soulless. Absolutely. And however, even after putting like another hour, maybe hour and a half into the game, it's still it's kind of hard to like really say that like Sandrock is definitively better, and here's why. Because there's a lot of like, I mean, okay, so my honest opinion though, it is better, but I couldn't like break it down. I couldn't quite break it down though, because there was still quite a bit of like just the front loading dialogue, tutorial aspects of the game, that just, you know, you didn't really feel like you were getting into it. And to Ever After Fall's credit, you get right into things pretty quickly. Like you already start establishing your routines and deciding what you want to do and things like that. And so I will give Ever After Falls credit to that. I think Sandrock is just a little bit too in love with its setting, with its world building.
Yeah.
That they want to like explain all this stuff to you in dialogue and things like that, rather than just letting the player kind of figure these things out. Which, as far as settings go and just like the overall world building, it's actually kind of interesting. I mean, it's like this sort of like cozy post-apocalyptic society. It's got like this sort of like religious group that has sort of like popped up trying to have it so that people don't repeat the same mistakes that the old world did before this whatever happened to their society happened, but trying to presumably it was because of like I don't know, maybe a rogue AI. I don't know. But yeah, it is quite interesting. And then Sandrock in itself is it's in the desert, so there's this like really importance of water. They're going all like not quite Dune level importance of water, but like water is super important in this society, and things like that. So I thought that was one of the things was like you couldn't cut down trees because trees were like super important because there's so few of them, and it's like against the law. And like I even cut one down. And then one of these guys was like, "Hey, I know this. You probably don't know this. It's new here, but you shouldn't do that. And if you do it again, I'll have to fine you, and I won't be your friend." So I was like, "Well,
that is so polite.
Man,
I'm just imagining it being said. I'm just imagining it being said in like a Canadian accent. Just, oh, hey there. It's illegal to be chopping down trees. Sorry, that went Irish there.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So polite. Just I might not be your friend.
I won't be your friend. So I was like, oh man, I gotta be this guy's friend, so I should stop cutting down trees.
See, I would have gone the other way. It's like, what would happen if I chopped a little bit more?
I'm just gonna chop them all down.
Not all of them, just that same one tree. Just like look him dead in the eye and very slowly swing back the axe and then hit it again just to see what he does.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, you've done it now. Again, it's going Irish. I don't know why. Anyway.
Hey, I mean, you did better than me. I can't really do different voices. So, hey.
I'll go like, let me give it an actual Irish. Hold on, give me a second. Now let's go Canadian just for that first bit though. Hey, bit. What are you doing? Don't chop down that tree. If you keep doing it, I won't be your friend, lad.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got to throw in the lad. That sells it.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe something about potatoes too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyways, like outside of that setting, combat was. That's the one thing that I can say. Combat in Sandrock was definitely better than combat in Ever After Fall.
The bar was quite low though.
Yeah, the bar was so low. I mean, Sandrock, it's pretty simplistic too, to be honest. Like.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of different weapons to choose from that all kind of like have different weapon combos and whatnot. But it felt pretty simplistic. Like I was like fighting guys that were like higher level than me, and as long as they didn't hit me, I pretty much could take them out.
Nice.
And it was pretty easy to dodge for the most part. But you get that one stray hit by somebody who's like 15 levels higher than you.
Sure.
It's going to take you out.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like your weapon is doing like peanuts damage to them.
Yes.
So it's like
not
even really worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was another game where I was trying to play it long enough to feel like it starts opening up, but I never quite got there. Like I got up to the point where I built that crane for the miners, and then I actually went down into that ruin, which that was actually pretty cool. It was a different take on like mining in other farming sim style games, like I'm sure you're familiar with like Stardew Valley, and you go into the mine, there's just a bunch of rocks everywhere, and you just But in this one, you're going into like a ruins of a mall that existed, eons ago, right? And it's you have to like excavate it out to try to get to the different ores or getting various like parts from different things that you salvage and things like that. And I thought that was I really quite liked that. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's
Um,
really cool. Yeah.
but yeah, so but that's about as far as I got. I know that my time at Porsche had like, boss fights and things like that, and I'm sure Sandrock is the same. So they probably, I'm sure they share like a bunch of identity since they're literally, made by the same people and
In the same series.
and
Yeah.
yeah, in the same series and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, all I know is that from what I've played of my time at Porsche, the little bit I played of Sandrock, and then also just my own knowledge of the franchise from what little I picked up by watching trailers or other people playing. Like, I definitely would say that this is definitely the better the better farming sim title compared to last month's Ever After Fall.
Mm-hmm.
Ever After Falls was, I think maybe you had said this, like it was kind of more like a filler game for the bundle, whereas I feel like My Time at Sandrock is a game that for farming sim enthusiasts, this might be something that might actually like sell them the bundle.
Yeah, definitely.
If they weren't as interested for other titles in the bundle.
Well, the setting is definitely interesting. I don't know if it's good or bad, but like the naming as well, like on everything, it's just like really obvious or on the nose. Like, well, let's take the title for example. Sandrock. There's a lot of sand. There's a lot of rocks. Let's call it Sandrock.
Right.
And then you've got that guy protecting or guarding the area, not letting people in. And I think his name is like, I'm not sure, or something like that. It's not spelled the right way, but it's done to imply it's the name I'm not sure.
Yeah. There's a guy who's his name's Unsure.
Unsure. That's the one. Yeah.
I thought that was so weird. Yeah, it's like UNSUUR, and
that's the one.
I stopped there, like when I came across the guy, I sat there and I was like, is this like really a name somewhere, or is this the devs being silly? Because like I mean, like, I don't know, maybe it's a name somewhere, obviously not in an English speaking country, because like, I mean, if somebody's out there named Unsure, man, that sucks.
My condolences.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it very well could be a name, but they were definitely being silly because the character wasn't sure of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And there was other characters like that as well, where the name was probably not a real name. It was a big stretch, and how they interacted with you and the other characters was an extension of that name, basically. Well, other way around. They were given that name because of the character and the trope they were meant to play.
Right.
I mean, some people might like that. Obviously, it's not a very heavy game, so it can be very lighthearted. It's one thing that at least stood out to me.
Now thinking about this, one thing that kind of stands out to me a bit is, so this is supposed to be like a fringe kind of pioneer town.
Yeah.
But yet they have an arcade there.
Yes.
Like, priorities? Why?
Yeah, fair. But it's a cozy farming sim. It's got to have all those bells and whistles to keep you coming back for
all
different
stuff
activities.
Like that. Yeah. Okay. All right, so now that we've spent 3 games talking about the stuff that I've played, let's finally get to something that you played. So Let's School. How are your thoughts on that?
It's fun. It's management mixed with, well, no, it's pretty much just management, right? And I guess a bit of strategy as well, but I think it's well polished. On deck, it controlled surprisingly well. Obviously, it's not going to be as quick as mouse and keyboard, but you can pause the game, speed it up. So if you want to, make sure you're doing things right without impacting the world, or rather letting things get out of control while you're trying to navigate menus and decide things, you can just pause it and then use controllers to go through there and do the stuff. But I think overall it handled pretty well on the deck. Hold on, unless I'm remembering it wrong, I don't think it was trackpad. I'm pretty sure it wasn't trackpad, but it was controller. I don't think it brings a whole lot new to the genre. We've already, for years, since the 90s, we've had all the Bullfrog series, Theme Hospital. I think it was called Theme Hospital, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so. I'm not quite familiar with those titles, but I've heard of at least that one.
It's all the same thing though, really. You're given a setting.
Yes.
You have customers or patients or students coming in. You're building facilities around that, trying to get the best facility possible. But it did have, at least compared to like the old games, but I think the mechanic has probably been done quite a lot in other games, is you can set different goals or different victory conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, at least my understanding was they have different ones. You can select one that you're like going for, but if you meet any of the other ones, you still win. And so that's
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
there was like 4 different ones, right?
something like that. Yeah, one of
Yeah.
them was like trying to get like the highest grades for students.
Yep.
One of them was like trying to reach as many students as they can,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. That
More
kind of stuff. Yeah.
quantity over quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like a
Just get them through. After they're out, they're not a problem.
Make that money, baby. Make that money. Which, could be a reflection on some actual institutes as well. It wasn't clear whether it was university or high school. Like the way it was done, the desks and whatnot, it was very Japanese or Chinese or maybe even Southeast Asia school.
Right.
To the point where people going through my video, you could maybe pick up on it, but I had references to GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka. So I named the teacher Eikichi Onizuka. I think that's his name.
I'm not familiar with that.
Right, so it's just a funny manga about a teacher. Rather inappropriate, really, from a Western audience. But he becomes a teacher. He's a delinquent, really. He's a delinquent, doing nothing with his life. He's in like a biker gang, I think, at the start, and then becomes a teacher because he sees he's kind of hitting on a high school girl, and then it turns out her boyfriend is her teacher, is like some fat balding guy, and he's like, I'm going to become a teacher, and it's just like, wow, so inappropriate. But it's quite funny as a whole. It's is this okay? And it definitely, I mean, it's older now, but it definitely doesn't show its age well at all for a Western audience. But regardless, I had references like the school name was Holy Forest, which is the school name for that in English. And even the whole character design, he had short, dyed blonde hair as well. So it was all that. Wow, that was a big tangent. Yeah. So because it was more of that Japanese setting, I decided I'd go for that approach.
Yeah. I know when I first saw this game, because this has been something that was on my wish list for a while. When I first saw it, that's what immediately came to my mind, was because like I've worked in as like teaching English just as like an ALT in Japanese schools, and I was like, this seems like it's like very Japanese inspired. Of course, yeah, like you said, it could just Southeast Asia as like a larger whole inspired. But yeah, definitely that was like the first thought that came to my mind about it.
Even like the title, Let's School, it seems like a very Japanese title to me.
Yeah. But okay, so you sort of touched on this. I was wondering, like, how did you feel about the game kind of like introducing new concepts to the player? Because like for me, when I played that hour, like I thought it was fine at first, but it was just starting to get to a point where it's like getting slightly overwhelming, because they were just like throwing this at you and then this and then this, and you're like, oh, how am I supposed to like can't remember what it was. It was like, first it was like something with my schedule where I didn't know how to address some of the issues that I was having in my schedule, like certain classes that couldn't be taught. That was eventually like answered later on with research. And then I think the other thing was like trying to figure out like how to do the proper like management, that whole like little management sort of like tree that they had, because like I was like, oh well, wait a minute, if I take this guy here, then I can't have a teacher, and this class needs a homeroom teacher, or then I can't have this guy like be like it started to getting just slightly overwhelming.
Yeah.
Sort of what you thought about all that.
No, exactly the same. And I think it comes down to how they do the tutorial. If they throw you in the big open scenario kind of thing and then try and do the tutorial stuff there's going to be things that get out of control. Whereas I don't know whether it's good practice or not, but let's say, for example, the Evil Genius series, both 1 and 2, did the exact same thing, where they start you off on an easier island where it's more of a controlled environment, and then it takes you through step by step the different aspects it wants to introduce you to. There is a bit of stuff that's, because it's not scripted, you're doing the management and things happen as well, and the little character AI stuff happens as well. And so it's not 100% like fully controlled, fully scripted, but it's it's in a controlled environment, and they can guide you through that process and then slowly release you onto larger islands that do more things as well. But because this one, as far as I could see, it's you load up your scenario, and then that's it. That's the one you're trying to go for victory with. And when it's done that way, it does have things that can get through the gaps there that aren't explained until later, or you might have to look up just to understand what's going wrong, or what's not clicking in their system, allowing you to do what you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's kind of like, it's definitely something that management games kind of have like a difficulty with, sort of that balancing act of, making sure that the game doesn't really feel so easy that they're like getting bored of it.
Yeah.
But then also like not, not so overwhelming where the players don't know what to do next, or like how they should fix something, because now like all of a sudden they have like all these different things that to manage that they only were literally just introduced to these aspects of the game like just moments before.
This one has a lot going on as well. Like, I'm just trying to think of past management games I've played. It probably doesn't have... it depends on the game as well, but there's a lot of different intricate things in there, setting the class schedules, assigning teachers, building up all this stuff as well. And having all of that so front-loaded can be very overwhelming.
Right.
And I was having gameplay recording issues with this one. During the middle of the bundle recording, I just gave up and then decided to go and get external recording device, which was the best decision ever. I'm glad I did. It's not perfect for doing it on the Steam Deck, but it's definitely a good workaround. But as a result of that, I'd gone through and lost all of my entire first hour of footage, and so I had to go back and do it again. And because of that, it actually felt more enjoyable the second time because it wasn't as overwhelming, and there were things that weren't that were clicking into place mechanically, not in my head, but actually in the game, allowing things to progress that weren't happening the first time around.
Right.
And that made the whole experience a lot better.
Okay. Thinking about all this, I think it's not quite a management game like this, but City Builder. But like, I think the Anno series does a really good job.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of easing players in, like, because I was thinking about this, like one of the way that Anno usually does. I mean, I haven't played every single one, so I don't know this for sure. But they introduce you to like a few tools, and they kind of tell you about how to go about using them, and then it's all kind of like because like the way it is like you have your settlers or population or whatever, and then they start at like they're just they start at a certain class level, and then like as you start providing them more amenities and things that they want, then they go up to like another class level, and then that's when it gets a little bit more complex. But while they're in the particular class level that there are, it's all kind of like self-contained. So like in the beginning, it's just like they just need food, they just need clothes, they need access to water, that kind of stuff. And maybe you're building like very simple production lines, like you have like a lumberjack to cut down wood, and it's taking it to like a sawmill to turn into planks or something like that. And it's a very simple, and it's not until they kind of like level up that's when like more things get introduced, and then you are adding into this complexity. Whereas because like in contrast to like Let's School, it feels like a lot of these things that they introduce you to, in order to have like a functional school, you need to have like all these things already like working in tandem.
Yeah.
Because if you let them go for too long, well then presumably you'll lose students, or you won't meet those sort of like grade requirements that they want, and XYZ stuff.
Yeah, that's a great way of doing it then, for the way Anno has. But it comes back to, maybe it is good practice of having that controlled environment, that controlled area that gradually expands. And this one, because
I think it has to be just enough so that it doesn't feel boring. But yeah, definitely like not so little that you feel like, oh, like those games that you don't see this too much anymore. But like before, like you'd go play like a first person shooter, press W to Press A and move left. You're like, yeah, I know. But yeah, like you don't want it like that.
No, definitely not. But I mean, even with this one, obviously the big focus is let's get students in. Let's build a classroom. Let's get students in. So I get why the developers wanted to do it, but they would have benefited much more from okay, let's build a classroom. What is another basic function? Okay, before opening the school, then let's build the toilet. Let's build the tea room, and just have the basic functions so that you don't have students, like, while you're still doing the tutorial, it's like, oh man, I really need to go to the bathroom. I've been holding it in for 5 days now. Yeah, it's just, it could have been done a lot better, I think, if they staged it that way, like, and then have, like, one big grand opening of the school as opposed to, hey, school's open. While the school's open, let's start building a classroom. Let's start putting windows in the classroom. Let's actually give it a door so people can go in the classroom. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would actually segues really well into my next question for you, which was like, how did you think about the gamified elements? Because it's like, yeah, like you're running a school, but like this is definitely not a school that could exist.
No.
Like at least not in any first world country, because like you don't have any necessary facilities. You don't even have any hired staff. Like you said, there's literally no class. There's no door to the classroom, and you're just like, yeah, students, come on in. Like I had students that were just kind of like moseying around the grounds because the classroom that I had was full. And it's like, why did you even come to school? Like, why did your parents allow you to go to, like, this has to be the worst rated school in the nation, and your parents decided to send you here. Why?
Because they hate them, obviously.
Right. I think the thing that I mean, I get it, it's a game, so I can overlook it, but the thing that was just so silly to me was like you can't build break rooms until you research it. You can't have an algebra class until you research it. Like we don't need to research this stuff. Like what?
The research I didn't like, and it's because the only reason they have it in there is because it's a management game, and a lot of management games like City Builders have research.
Have that.
And so our school needs to have research as well. It's like, really?
They just want to gauge the progression.
Exactly right. And I could have done without the research, honestly.
You know what would have been an easy way around this is don't have the research and then just have it where, like you said, in the case of like, no, here's one map, you run this school, you have access to these different things that you can build in that school. Then boom, you got on another map, and then you get access to more stuff that you can now use.
Yeah.
And then eventually maybe just have like a free build mode or something like that where you have access to everything.
Would have solved so many issues.
Right. Yeah, because the research is just really weird. I don't know. Like, could you just imagine, like, you just assigned some, like, Takahashi sensei to go sit in that office and research break room. Like,
he's not doing it. He's got his newspaper out and he's just sitting there reading, pretending to be working the whole time. Just
exactly. Or sleeping.
And no one says anything because he's older.
Right. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think I generally agree with you though. Like, it seemed like a fun game. I think it is probably just because I thought that it was like pretty solid, and it's one of the it appeals to me more than like we've had we've had 2 Point Hospital before in the past. We'd have 2 Point Campus, 2 Point University.
We did. Yep.
Those are kind of fun. I think they're maybe I guess I'd have to be in the mood for it. Like I wouldn't say no, but they're really over the top silly.
Yes.
This one felt like just right. Like just right enough tone. Like it's definitely got its quirky to it. But it's a little bit also grounded, but like I was just saying, it's also really gamified. That would be something that would like probably fit very well in like 2 Point. Like, oh, you got to research break room. Like that would just be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess, because
it's a silly world.
Everybody's kind of It's just like, and everybody in this world is very kind of like quirky and it just kind of fits.
Yes.
But yeah. So I probably might play this, or you know what, I do I imagine that probably not this year because I think it came out literally just a few months ago, but probably next year, maybe late next year, we might see 2 Point Museum, whatever it's called, in Humble. Since we've gotten the other two, we're gonna get this latest one.
It'll come in
at some
eventually. Just a waiting
and
game.
that might be one that I might play. Making like a fun museum sounds kind of neat. And
It does, yeah. And I don't think it's been done before.
No,
Not that I'm
yeah,
aware of.
that's the same. But that was something that I thought was like, yeah, that's kind of like an interesting kind of take comparatively to the obvious thing would have been like 2 Point Zoo or something like that,
Yeah,
or
which is
2 Point,
Yeah.
amusement park or whatever.
Yeah, done so many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I think it's a very inspired approach to the same management style in a different setting.
Yeah. Okay. So, Lil Gator Game. You did manage to pick up a copy of Lil Gator Game.
I did. So, I don't think I ever mentioned it in my video, but I definitely shared it with Stealthy. But for the viewers, I got a key not for my region to access on Steam. And so, because I moved countries, I changed Steam. It's very obvious with that one, whereas with Humble, it's not obvious what your region is, and I completely forgot it was a thing. So and it hasn't happened to date before. This is the very first time. So I got a key for my old region that didn't work in my new region on Steam. So I was umming and ahhing what to do, and I actually found a really, really cheap key online. I forgot what site I went from actually, but it was only for like 0.8 euro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a reasonable price. And I was happy to do it to test out the game. I am so glad I did as well, because this is a great game, and I have one regret, and it's always difficult. So I gave this one the Deck Play Under the Covers Award, no brainer. Such a chill game with no combat, no pressure on the player. It's such a relaxing game, so it's perfect for winding down at the end of the day. I don't think that there's any doubt in anyone's mind as to whether it was worthy of that or not. And I kind of regret not giving it the Grower Not a Shower award, because just looking at the game art, I was contemplating maybe just skipping the review and passing it over, just because I didn't get the key there, depending on how much it was going to cost. And I'm so glad I didn't, because it's such a good game. It is, it looks so unassuming, but it is so well done. And I never thought I'd ever say that about a game that has fake combat and no altercations and no pressure on the player. It is so good. And this is, I'm committed to finishing this one out, because it's not that long either. And I'm probably about at least halfway through. So I do want to finish this one out within this month.
Right. I imagine my daughter and I will probably finish it somewhat soon, maybe.
Nice.
We've definitely put more time in it than what is the normal amount of time. I think How Long to Beat 4 hours. Yeah. And we put in like I think between with her playing it, like outside of my time, maybe like 5 or 6 hours or something.
Nice.
And it's just because she just likes wandering around and actually, so I was telling you this I think last month that my daughter has a real hard time playing these 3D games because the camera control. But between little Gator Game especially, and then also the next one, Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip, she's like, it's just like clicked. Something just clicked. Nice. She's just like using that, being able to maneuver the other analog. I mean, obviously not like really snappy, but enough that she now understands how to do it, whereas before it was, she couldn't figure it out at all.
Yeah.
So she's been having a lot of fun going through that game, because it's a very relaxed game. The visuals are definitely very appealing to a small child.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's got that Wind Waker style, which is obvious reason is because it's all inspired by Legend of Zelda series.
Yeah. I had actually named my character because you're supposed to name it.
Yes.
When they were showing you the box art of that not Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah.
So I named my character Not Link.
Nice. Did you see what I named my
I
character?
no, I don't think I did.
All right. So because the sister's like you have to go around helping people, I called him Gator Aid. Spelled aid as in help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah, I mean, I would expect no less from you,
Thank you.
actually. That tracks. But yeah, we definitely it really is like a nice little game. And I appreciate that it tries to like expand itself like a little bit more with, you know, some of the traversal like equipment that you can get, and you know, finding the different items that he can wear is you know, yeah, really quite fun to unlock new stuff. Although as it was in Cat Quest 3, my daughter refuses to wear a hat. She doesn't like him wearing any sort of hat. So
even the first one you get?
yeah.
The Link one?
Yeah, even the first one. Like
Wow.
once I showed her the game and like we sat down to play it, she was like one of the first things she told me was like she wanted to take the hat off.
Wow. Does she wear hats in real life, or she's against them in real life too?
No, she does wear hats.
Wow,
like she has to wear like you know those like little colored caps that kids at like
the yellow
Yochian
ones?
will wear. Like yeah. She had a yellow one last year.
Yep.
She's got like a pink one, and she has like a sun hat that she likes to wear.
Yep.
So like no problem wearing hats. But in games, no, you're not allowed to wear a hat, I guess.
I mean, having said that, it is rather impractical. If your hero is like jumping around, climbing up things, the first thing coming off is the hat. So I can respect that.
Right. But yeah. So I guess I'll share. So I did once again. I did the two things that my daughter liked, and one thing she didn't. So one thing she really liked was that you could actually play at the playground.
Yes.
She liked that you could slide down the slides and get on like the and stuff. As opposed to Stardew Valley, which all you could do is just like sad sit on the swing. That's
I love
it. She always likes walking to the playground in Stardew Valley, but she's always disappointed. So she's like asking me like, why can't I slide down the slide? I'm like, you just can't. Like they didn't make that in the game. Like it's not possible. It's like ask me like how do you do it? And it's like you literally can't.
Yeah. I have to agree with that.
So
that's a solid point. Being able to do all the stuff in the playground, you can spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, and then it starts filling up too with like all the other animals that you have.
Yeah, plus also like the stuff you build there with your cardboard pieces.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was a thing.
Oh yeah, so like the more people you not save but like bring to the playground, there's like different caps, and so I think the first one's like 5 people, and if you go and find I forgot which creature, but the creature doing the playground construction stuff, you can build it up more. Although I'm not quite sure where they are currently, because I'm looking around for them, and I should be able to like get the next one, but I'm not sure where they are.
Okay. Maybe that was something that she interacted with and I didn't know, because yeah, like when we went there, like it was all kind of like built up with like slides and some tower to climb and all sorts of stuff.
So
maybe we passed by it
there. It's more like decorations, making it look like a castle.
Oh, okay. So no, I don't think we have encountered that. 'Cause I remember. All right, yeah. So we'll have to keep a lookout
pretty cool.
For that then.
Yeah, there's another thing to spend your little cardboard craft things on.
Right, yeah. Like obviously the cosmetics stuff, and then we bought the stuff at that like that raccoon shop.
Oh, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. He there's like there's one bit that they have in there where like you can go to like smash his sign, which is like, you know, it says junk for sale or something.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and he gives you a talking to, and he does that like he has a few different things to say.
Yeah.
If you do it multiple times, and my daughter's just like, because like I would read the stuff out to her, right, and she was just cracking up. Well, probably because I'm doing it like all silly and everything like that, but she just found it so funny. So like of course I enjoy it too.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's some raccoon that just sells like things, spend your junk. But yeah. So she liked the playground.
Yep.
She liked being able to cut down all the monsters. I think this is another game that I think this is another reason why this game works so well for her to learn camera control, because the the quote unquote enemies, they don't move.
Yeah.
And they can't hurt you. So like it's a lot easier for her to manage rather than like having enemies and having that pressure of oh, I'm going to die like if I don't attack back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, she really liked that. And then the one thing she didn't like is that she said sometimes it's really hard to climb things and he just falls down.
That is true.
So
Very true.
Yeah. The stamina, and then of course just her camera control skills not quite being at that level yet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'd assume like stuff as well, like us being players, we know how to optimize it. Getting like a leading jump, like getting yourself vertical without using stamina, and then which is it's pretty difficult, even for my son. I'm sure at age 7 to try and or having the ability to work that out logically beforehand is
oh yeah, definitely. I remember playing some games like that and not having that, like that video game sort of logic, doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, because like, I remember going back to games like as when I'm older and then being like, wow, I don't know why this was so difficult for me when I was younger.
Yep.
Yeah, most definitely. But Little Gator Game, pretty solid addition to the bundle. Like it's one of those ones where, like you, I was also like looking at this and kind of being like, well, okay, I guess it's probably just our like, filler game, B game kind of thing. But no, it's actually quite a bit of fun. And it doesn't have a monster eating a baby in it, so that's a plus.
Yes, always a plus.
Which I don't think I think I maybe wrote this in a comment on my Humble video, but yeah. So I guess PSA to any parents thinking about playing Tachia with their child. There's a monster that eats a baby in it, so maybe look it up first.
Yeah,
but yes, okay.
Little Gator has so much charm. It is brimming with charm.
Yes.
And I think, obviously for me, I finished Persona 5 Royale, and the next one I would enjoy after that is Little Gator Game. This one just right here. And it can throw you off so much because it looks so childish. The game art, when you first boot it up, going around, like, if someone said to me, like, there's no combat, like, no combat? Like, how could that be fun? But there's something for every person to enjoy, both children and adults. Like you enjoyed it with your daughter, but it sounds like you enjoyed it also on a personal level. I don't have the excuse of playing it with my child, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly, and I want to finish it because I'm enjoying it so much. And even one of the commenters on my video said they were playing it with their daughter who just had no interest when they were doing it on Game Pass. I was like, all right, I'm going to play it by myself then. And they went on to 100% it. So it's something that children and adults can enjoy it, which that is so hard to do. Like creating a game that so many people, so many different audiences can enjoy that is so tame, so cozy, yet so enjoyable. That's a hard thing to do, and the devs have nailed it. Very well done. Very good understanding of gamecraft as a whole, I think.
Right, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I think if there was anything, I would say that might be a slight negative. I mean, I know the game world itself is fairly small, but I wish there was a map.
Yeah.
Like, I wish there was some kind of map, especially because I know that, like, when it comes down to really 100% everything, like, I think there's an achievement to destroy every single cardboard bit on the on the map. I'm like, oh man, with the way my daughter has explored the island, we did not systematically take any of this stuff out. So there's gonna be like little bits here, little bits there, little bits everywhere, and without like something to sort of track that. Like I mean, I wouldn't expect that to be something to be given like as you're playing the game. Like it'd be like a thing like you beat the game and then you can unlock this thing that is like, oh, now you can find the rest of the stuff that you missed. Like that would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
But without that, like I don't know. I don't think we're gonna be good at that.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's a pretty difficult one to get to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice as well, not including the map, because it's not like they went for realism. You've got the stamina bar, you've got all sorts, not stamina bar, stamina will, really. But you've got all these other things that have not so realistic. They probably could have done something like
Yeah.
that. They do have like in-game like signboard map there you can kind of look at, but it's not like a proper
Yeah,
gaming
that's
map.
right. That's right. I never took a close enough look at that. Yeah, that might be at the very least to try to like map your way around the island back to get to certain places.
Just like general direction, right? Like, oh, this person's over on that section of the island that you can kind of work out from there.
Right. Yep. So then the next one, which was kind of a similar game, Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip.
This is a very silly game.
Yeah. As I was telling you before, I think it was like this one might be like slightly too silly for me. Anyways, what was your take on this?
I like it. Like, I like offbeat humor stuff.
Yeah.
This one does it quite well. If you don't like that style of humor, usually, then it could easily put you off, and I can appreciate that. But me personally, I enjoyed it. I found it very charming. I think that style of humor is probably better suited to the deck as well, because it's more of a, I don't really want to say it, but in general it is more of a casual gaming device, or it's more of a laid back one. You don't, you can just get it out when you want, relaxing on the couch. Let's say your partner's watching TV and you're playing games, and it's less of a time investment, and as a result of that, I think it's maybe less suited PC. Certainly this game, and just offbeat games in general, really. And so I suspect that's a large factor behind our different diverging opinions on this game.
Yeah. I think for me, as far as like the humor goes, like every single, and it was intentional, but like every single conversation just like kind of felt awkward.
Yeah.
And it was like a bit painful to see like interaction
right okay.
in this game. Whereas I felt the dialogue, like obviously like, in Lil Gator Game, it was also, fairly humorous, I think, in many of the interactions.
Yeah.
But I thought that the interactions, maybe realistic isn't quite the right word, but they felt more of like, I don't know what else to describe it other than like some stick banter, versus like everything being very stiff. And just awkward. Just awkward. Yeah.
No, you're right. I think one of the big things as well is Lil Gator Game. They're believable characters. I mean, sure, it's a very specific setting, and there's very tropey, but it's believable characters, like certainly from maybe like a Saturday morning cartoon style of thing, where we're kind of used to that.
Yeah.
Whereas they're certainly not believable characters in Tiny Terry Turbo Trip.
No.
But then, but yeah, the way they delivered as well is very like, I think stiff is probably the right way of putting it. Where it, their bodies are certainly very rigid, and the mouth movement as well is very like up down. It's either open or closed kind of thing. Oh, is there mouth movement? I can't remember, but
I think there's like a little bit,
Right, okay. And also like the way the dialogue was timed out or paced out was also done the same way as well, to really emphasize that awkwardness or that stiffness or kind of surrealism.
Yeah, definitely. If it had any voice acting, I imagine it would be like doled out with a very sort of like deadpan kind of tone.
Yeah.
Like
See, I suspect voice acting might take away from the game and subtract from it.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
But just if it had been in there.
If it were,
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Like, I think that's the first time I've ever said that, where voice acting would detract from a game.
I think it definitely does depend on the game. Like I know one thing, like my one thing my brother really quite dislikes is like in RPGs, especially one where you create your own character. That's where he detests it the most, is when the main character has a voice.
I see.
He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Obviously that's a different situation than in this case. But yeah, I don't know, because like in the case of this game, like, they have that weird kind of like garble sound that they make.
Yeah.
So you kind of are like, you're like already like, imagining how this character sounds.
That's true. Yeah.
Because of their garble. And if it was voice actor, you would lose a bit of that a bit of that your brain is just kind of like filling in.
Yeah, I forgot about the garble, like
Yeah,
Shiroean
yeah,
voice. It was like The Sims did it.
yeah,
It's not really Sims though. It's more Animal Crossing or
yeah, 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 yeah. Animal Crossing.
Overcooked.
That's a
Overcooked does
yeah.
it too, right? The
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah,
I think that suits it as well. It just adds to the whole surrealism and silliness of the whole thing.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, all of the conversations, all of the dialogue. These are like wacky characters. There's not a single one that's normal. You've got like the opening there. Is it spoiler? I think you mentioned it in your video. Your turns out is your uncle, the guy you're just talking to in the
Right, but I was
DMV.
like, I wasn't sure if that was actually true or not, because he, like, when they opened it up and he's
Yeah.
talking to him, it's like he didn't know who he was.
I know, right? Maybe he doesn't know. Who knows?
It was so
Who knows?
strange.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, talking to him is like such an unusual reaction to I'm gonna get a car and I'm gonna take it to space. Okay.
Right.
And then you've got like the second character is the girl at the desk with the tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
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 Just yeah.
Everybody looks a little bit kind of like weird and,
Yeah.
and disproportioned and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Very unusual. Like there's not a single normal character at all in either
Yeah,
their
no,
physical
no.
appearance or their interaction. My favorite one
Yep.
was the friend, the boy. You come across him and I forget how it opens, but basically he says that he's got money and he says he's got a job now. And he's helping his dad steal cars and resell them. He's like, oh, okay. But he's doing a good thing if you think about it, because he's finding owners for the cars or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I do remember that interaction. Yeah.
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 Although thinking about it, like probably the reason I like it is because it's such like child logic. It kind of makes sense.
Right.
So maybe that's the most realistic character of the whole thing. Who knows?
Yeah, I kind of felt though that probably the whole world operated on that logic. Like it wasn't
Yes.
just that one character. Like
Yeah.
it seemed like a lot of the people you would say that to say something like that, like bonkers like that too, and they would just be like, "Oh yeah, okay." But yeah. Yeah, so this ended up being something too that I played with my daughter, like I mentioned. Actually, this was the one that she wanted to play more than Little Gator Game
You
at
mentioned
first.
that. Yeah.
But once she started playing Little Gator Game, then she just wanted to play that one.
Yes. Such a good game.
So I'll do another like 2 things she liked, 1 thing she
Yeah,
didn't
go
like.
for
Well,
it.
actually, with 3 things she liked.
Okay.
She added one at the end, but so the one big thing is she liked that the Terry was trying to get his car to go into space.
It's adorable as a concept. Yeah.
Yeah. She had a bit of a space phase, I guess you could say.
Oh,
She
nice.
still is like interested
Yeah.
in it, but it was like she was really like, it's because I like space stuff, right? So I would tell her things like that, and
Yeah.
it was one instance in where like, so when she first started preschool,
Mhm.
she would go to, she had this like habit when she first started where she would tell her teacher something, and it would just be like something just random thought in her mind. And one of these things was like was the one thing she said was because she had learned about Mars, like really excited about, it's like, oh, she was telling the teacher like, oh, I want to go to Mars with my daddy. And it was like that. So my Japanese is, it's not really conversational, right? Like I've told you this before. And so every single morning I'd have to like think like, okay, how do I translate what she wants to say to the teacher in Japanese? And that one was like, okay, hold on a second. I think I'm gonna have to pull out Google Translate for this one.
Space stuff is hard.
Yeah, and she was just like, the teacher was just like, what?
Yes.
Or like when she came, because I'm sure you probably experienced this too, like where the teacher would come to your house and kind of like you have a parent-teacher meeting at the house.
No, they can
No,
stay off my
you never
property. Get out.
Oh yeah, no. So we had, it's only at the start of the year.
Yeah.
But a teacher came to our house and we'd have like a little chat about like, goals for the child and interactions and stuff like after the and so my daughter was showing her pictures, and one of these ones was just like, it was just like all black on it. And then it was like, what's that? It's like, oh, it's a black hole. And she's like, what, a black hole? Like, how do you know that? How do you know what that is? So yeah, space. She liked that the character was trying to go into space.
Nice.
One thing she really enjoyed doing, which it blew my mind, was I don't know if you know this, because maybe you probably never tried doing this, but if you go out far enough into the water, a sea creature will eat you.
I did not expect
And then
that.
you'll respawn like in the center of the town or whatever.
Okay.
But she loved doing that. She just kept on like, oh, take me to the beach, take me to the beach. And then once she did, she just started swimming out and a monster would eat.
Nice.
So she liked that. The one thing she didn't like though was actually the driving. And actually I did think at first anyways, the driving was a bit hard to steer for me. I don't know if you had any issues with the driving at all.
No, I didn't. But thinking back on it, it's pretty sensitive for memory, for turning.
Yeah. And I think that was like, I feel like that was done intentionally, like just to kind of like throw into the sort of like, oh, he's got this car, but he doesn't know how to drive it, sort of thing. So he's just constantly like, driving into things and stuff.
Yeah.
Eventually, I got the hang of it. But it was a little bit of a learning curve. I think I remember seeing somebody on the Steam reviews saying that like the car, like the driving the car controlled like driving a tank. Is what they sort of like likened it to. But yeah, so she found that kind of difficult. Although she kept on wanting to give it a try because every time we would upgrade the car to get like that longer turbo boost, she'd always be like, "Oh wow, that's so cool! I want to do." And then immediately drive into.
Yeah.
And then the last thing she liked was when Terry would be at the beach sharing fries with that like one receptionist.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. If you talk to like the apartment receptionist enough times, she eventually is like, we should do something or whatever. And he for whatever reason has like a voucher for like all you could eat beach fries.
Yes. Yeah.
So then you could go and share. You could keep on doing this, but you don't get anything after But if you do it like for the first time, then she tells you like some location to some buried treasure, which is of course more parts to upgrade your vehicle.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, she kept on doing that as well because she liked sharing the fries.
Yeah,
so.
The fry shop. I did stumble across the fries shop. It was another one of my favorite interactions as well, just for the conversation. So, did you go in and meet the guy in the fry shop, the owner?
Yeah, he eventually wants you to get like insects or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay. So I had a different interaction then. So I went in like pretty early game, came across the beach and went in there. And like straight away you get like a sense of this guy like kind of doesn't like me, or he's being polite for the sake of it, but doesn't want me in here as a customer. What's going on? And it turns out you won like a lifetime supply of the fries, the very salty fries or whatever. And since that, like, because you keep going there and getting fries, you're putting him out of business. He's like obligated to give you fries whatever you want as well. So you have like 3 fries starting in your inventory, and he starts with 100 in his, and you can keep asking him to give you fries as well. And I'm assuming like at a certain point, or maybe if you get all of them, you get an achievement, and maybe there's some interaction there, but I haven't taken it that far. Because that would be
that's
a lot
what I
of
was
time.
doing. Yeah. It's not something where you could just like, just put the quantity all the way up to 99.
No.
I was doing it I probably got like, I don't know, 10 of them or something. But then after that, like my daughter was like, "Why are you getting so many of these?" It's like, I want to see if he says anything. But eventually I just stopped because there's like, wow, this is going to take forever.
Yeah. It also made me really want to eat some like really salty fries as well.
Like, right.
Like kind of fish and chips kind of fries.
Right. It made me want to eat. There's this fast food joint out in the States where I'm from. I don't think it's even nationwide. It's called Rallies, or it's called Checkers. That was the other name for it.
Okay.
And they would have like these really salty seasoned fries.
Nice.
That were like so good, but you know that you're like inching closer to a heart attack whenever you eat them.
Yeah. So bad for the arteries.
But that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Was those fries.
Yeah. No, it reminds me of literally like going to a beach and getting some chips from a fish and chip store.
Okay.
'Cause those things are usually pretty salty to begin with.
Is that something? Is like fish and chips a fairly popular thing in Australia then?
I think so. They serve it at
Okay.
most restaurants. Like, well, at pubs certainly they'll serve some kind of battered fish and shit.
Okay. It probably was actually just where I grew up. It's like I grew up in the Midwest, so I
Yeah.
wasn't along a coastline or anything like that. I imagine if I
Right.
grew up like New England State or something like that, I probably would have more opportunity to eat fish and chips. But literally the only time that I had was to go into either some like a dining restaurant that was like a chain, Red Lobster,
Mhm.
to a fast food chain that eventually went out of business called Long John Silver's, and that was like greasy stuff.
Wow.
Super
Okay.
greasy stuff. But that was the only opportunity I really had to eat fish and chips. So I always grew up with the impression that it was more of like a British thing.
Oh, it's definitely
Um,
British. It's
right. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
but yeah.
it's where it comes from.
So
But we do it over here
yep,
too.
yep. Okay, so on to penultimate game, Wildmender,
This is
which
a good one.
was mine. But yeah, you and I had played that and had
Mhm.
a pretty decent time doing it.
Did you go on and do some more afterwards with your wife as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, not with the wife.
Okay.
She doesn't own it, but I think it is like after playing it some more, like I was telling you, like I definitely think it is something that she probably would enjoy, even minus the fact that there isn't like that heavy base building
Mhm.
kind of aspect to it. But the fact that you can see the progression through the plants
Mm.
is pretty it's pretty satisfying.
Nice.
But yeah, I thought I was I played that a bit. I was starting to get my shrubs were starting to look a bit more tree like and stuff, so I was like, oh wow, like that must be really cool, like once you can start planting like actual trees
Mm.
and like turning it into like a forest or something.
Nice.
And I was digging like canals
Yeah, you mentioned that in the
like
text. I
to
was
spread the water.
so surprised.
Right,
Wait,
right.
no, that
And
was in your video, was it?
was it?
Yeah, I don't
I don't
know.
remember.
Some
I
interaction
don't
on
remember
some
what it was, but
platform.
somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's how you create more arable soil.
Yes.
And oh, I remember. It was on your video because I had said that I've been playing, and
Right.
then the irrigation 101 lecturer that you had, back
That's
in
right.
university. So
That's a solid
um
joke.
yeah, so but yeah, that was really cool, and I I feel like I should have been using the map more because I found that there's like actually like markers on the map to direct you to things like other like potential spots where you
Right,
could
okay.
create like more like well springs, things like that.
Oh,
If it's
wow.
like originally I was going to get on this talk and be like, what would be cool is like if they actually had like markers on the map and if you could like place markers to show where you've been and where you haven't been. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should actually check the map first before I say something stupid that's
Yeah.
not true. And then I checked it and it's like, oh wait, no, you actually can do those things. I just didn't pay attention. So that's on me. But yeah, so that was pretty nice. One thing we were literally just like a step away from is learning that you could actually sand surf in the
Oh,
game.
that's so cool. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, like if you hold down a certain button or whatever, you could kind of like surf around on the sand, which wow, wish I would have known that.
Oh,
Like that
hold
should have
on.
been I feel like that should have been something that was like taught to you like
They
way
said
earlier on.
something like that. I think for me it was like B button. I do remember like a pop up on the screen and being like, oh, what's that? And it didn't kind of work out so well for me, and then I just completely forgot about it.
Okay, yeah, I only learned about it because like it literally was a quest after you completed like, a bunch of these other quests that's like I said, like that should have been something I should have known the moment I trekked out into the sand. But whatever. Yeah, so that was pretty fun. I think though that the more I played, I thought that the non-linear progression was kind of a mixed bag for me.
Yeah.
Though, like on one hand, I like that the game encouraged you to, and rewarded you for exploration. Like you could find those scrolls or whatever, and then you get like a skill point in an associated tree. But then on the other hand, like I disliked how my progress felt tied down until I could find the specific item I needed in order to get that point so that I can get the upgrade that I really want.
Mm.
And because like I started going to like all sorts of places to try to find stuff in the hopes that I would get skill points, and I'd be like, oh, it's just random stuff that I got, and it's like, man, that's not what I wanted. And yeah, so I felt like it was because you never really knew when you were going to be able to get that next upgrade.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure how well I like that, but I imagine though that's something that would be easily cured through playing it cooperatively with other people, because that was all shared between you and I when we played. Like we literally could like if you went off in one end and I was off somewhere else, we both found something, well then that's like 2 points that we found in the same amount of time it would have taken me just to find one. Or something like that. I guess it depends on how you play.
Yeah, whether you're always traveling off together or whether like we did, sometimes together, sometimes splitting off and doing our own thing.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, it was always coordinated. I'd be like, all right, I'm going over here. You're like, okay, I'm going this way. So it wasn't like we weren't doing it together. It was just in different places.
Yep.
Speaking of like co-op mechanics or like co-op interactions, I did like how they had the shared skill tree, so that whenever, let's say, you allocated a point to a specific skill, I would get that skill as well. So that we didn't like break the game. I thought that was a really smart way of handling that, so that we didn't have things happen too early, or us just like overpowering our not base building but our oasis building skills too early in the game.
Yeah, I think generally like I liked it as well. Like I had seen some people complaining about that though, because they felt it took away their ability to specialize compared to like their co-op partner. But I thought that the upgrade trees, they all seemed fairly small, and since you're getting specific points for that upgrade tree, I didn't really see that as being that much of an issue.
Me neither. I mean, I can understand how it would be frustrating for people who like to feel unique or individual within their group, and certainly then specialize and say, okay, you'll be in charge of carrying heavy things and I'll be in charge of growing plants. Or not a good example because you're all growing plants in this game, but it does take away from that ability to feel unique.
I would say like in a survival crafting game that had more systems to it than what Wildmender does, and I would say that would make a lot of sense.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
I know when my wife and I play, I'm usually going out exploring, doing more of the fighting, where she's like building. She's doing a lot more of the building, so we would spec accordingly.
Yeah.
But in Wildmender, I think like we all are basically doing generally the same things.
Yeah.
And there's there's a little bit of combat, but it's primarily just growing, going out, exploring, getting stuff, coming back, doing more growing.
Yeah.
So okay. Did you have anything more to say on Wildmender?
No, not really. I will say it grew on me.
Well, that's obligatory. You have to say that.
Yeah.
All right. Warpips, final game.
This is a solid game. I mean, they're all great games. This is an incredible bundle. I really do think that price increase has really paid off, particularly in this one. But this was definitely a Steam Deck game. This is the perfect fit. It's got those like bite-sized battles. It's.
Yep.
I mean, if when someone says, "Oh, it's taken strategy games and really simplified it," it sounds like, "Oh, really? That doesn't sound like it's a lot of fun." But they've broken it down into its core elements and really made those core elements fun.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Actually, like one of the things that I thought was interesting in its design was so once you get done with the tutorial and then you get into like the main campaign or whatever, like I did feel a bit overwhelmed with all of the the different unit options that you suddenly had available to you.
Right. Yeah.
However, the game's kind of clever with that though, because like it like you have access to these different units, but like once you use them, they're used up, and then you have to like you're kind of forced to experiment.
Yes.
Like, and I'm someone who I tend to use the same tried and true like strategies over and over again with very minimal changes throughout like basically an entire playthrough. So I think like systems like this is you know, really smart. Like I think one thing that comes to my mind, like especially, it's like with action RPGs, I basically will just spam like the same couple area of effect attacks again
same
and again and
combo.
again.
Yeah.
Like drink mana potions like some kind of alcoholic.
Yeah.
and in order to just keep going. But like one good example in which like it forced me to change up my playstyle was have you ever played Children of Morta?
Yes, I have.
That was like a really clever way to get the player to experiment with other different classes, so to say, because each of the different family members were different classes. Because once you used a family member for too long, they would need to rest.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really smart, and I thought that the same, holds true here. You can only use that unit once, and maybe you can have access to it again in the next fight, like if you can buy it or if you have multiples. But you also will probably be utilizing other different types of units as well, because you have different ones appearing up in the store. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely. You kind of had to experiment a lot there. I also liked how there are going to be like units that are stronger, without a doubt. And because there's limited times as well, you got to choose which battles you save them for, and which synergies you try and keep together for the harder battles. I went through the first island campaign, and I was on... Which difficulty was it? It was like one above normal, I'm pretty sure, because there was a lot of different difficulties you could choose from. So I think I went one above normal, and it was a cakewalk up until the last one. And the reason I lost the last one is because I wasn't using probably the most optimal build I could have. I had some units there that didn't really match together well. And I was, again, really kind of experimenting. And so I switched back to a tried and true combination I'd used a few other locations on the island. And when I did that, I just completely walked over the opposing side. So I think that's also a really interesting system that allows for a lot of depth in strategy, just by limiting what ones you have access to and how you can do it at different points based on the different locations you defeat. But then also like having those different locations there, when you win there, you have access to this, and this. And so you then plan out your route and how you go about it to make sure you have the right resources at the right time. It's just a game that's like so simple in the basic loop. There's a lot of depth to the strategy.
Yeah, most definitely. I thought another thing that I thought was kind of interesting. I mean, it's not like revolutionary or whatever, but the whole should you fight this battle to get more stuff, or should you just gun it for the like the boss or whatever of that island?
Yep.
I thought that was, one of those. I kind of like it when games give you that option to just like, all right, I'm just gonna go straight for the boss like right away to take them out. But in this case, though, it's because like they will get stronger if you don't immediately go for them. So you have to like plan accordingly as to whether or not you're actually prepared for this fight or not. Which, that was pretty neat. I definitely could see myself, playing this one again, because like you said, it's like one of these really snappy. Like you jump in, you play a battle or two, and jump out.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good for that. Like, so I could definitely explain that. It actually reminded me. I thought about mentioning it in my review, but I figured most people wouldn't even know this game at all. But it reminded me a lot of this game called Castle Storm, which was like a very similar one where you have this sort of tug of war type battle where you could spawn units that would go over to try to fight the enemy, and they'd be spawning units as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what a cool feature that game had was where you can take control of a hero unit and actually like manually control that hero unit to go out and attack the enemy. And that's what I thought was cool about Warpips, was that some of these units that they had controlled like slightly differently. Like in the case with what I'm thinking of right now is like the turret, how you could actually manually aim the turret to shoot at the enemies. I thought that was pretty cool. And kind of offered some different, light change to the gameplay over just, waiting until you have the resources, spawning the troops in batches. So I just thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. I also liked how you had units you can spawn, but then also you've got like limited use weapons and stuff, and also like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah.
placeables. I will say like the placeables, they were with the controller there. It wasn't so intuitive as how to use them for like the first 2 missions. But once I figured it out, it's like, oh, okay, so these spots here, I need to mouse over there with my joystick cursor, and then I can place it down. And so once I worked that out, it was very intuitive and ends up being a lot of fun and another part of the strategy.
I think with the placeables, it was a little bit confusing for me at first too, because like I tried to place one down, and then I only realized like a little bit after that, like you could put them down at certain points, and like you couldn't place it down if you weren't far enough down the
Right,
line.
yeah.
And I couldn't place it where it was, presumably because I already had stuff there. But yeah, eventually I got the hang of it.
I like how the units felt very unique in
Mhm.
how they play, but also what they're doing as well. Like you've got was it the captain? I can't remember. Oh, maybe it's an officer, but they have the radio pack on their back, and they kind of stick around your other troops as much as they can to heal them, and then
Okay,
they'll call in the
yeah.
airstrikes as well. And so even how they move about the field there was very unique to them. It wasn't just like a straight push.
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty. Like, I had noticed that as well for that unit in particular. But I thought that was kind of clever. Once like my grunts or whatever had died, I was like, well, this guy, he's dead. But then he started like retreating back in the line to go, meet up with the other. I was like, oh wow, that's actually pretty decent AI.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected that like something like this would have that. So I thought that was pretty good.
I also like, I don't know what it was called, but you had for me it was left trigger, right trigger for using up your energy points, or whatever like that bar was, to get your guys to hunker down. As soon as you did that as well, it's the same kind of thing. They retreat to a safe spot and then kind of hunker down.
Right.
And then you
you
push
could
one
either
as well.
choose to do that or to push. Yeah, that's right. That
was a really cool mechanic.
I forgot about that. It kind of gives the player a bit more agency to try to control the flow. Yeah, that was a smart thing. I also liked how I mean I guess probably any game like this would probably have something similar, but I did like it was, choosing how to use your cash, like to either try to like upgrade or I need to spawn in more units. So it was like trying to weigh your options. There's definitely enough there. Like I mean I like you said, like somebody could look at this game and be like, oh wow, this is just a really stripped down strategy game. But I think there's a lot under the hood there that a strategy enthusiast would probably like. Especially for the people who like the.
Sorry, I think it's been stripped down, but it's been stripped down to the core components. They've kept everything in there that should be there.
Oh yeah.
And as a result, you get this really smart, simple, fun strategy game that you can take in bite-sized chunks.
Yeah, I really like strategy games that attempt to do things like that. There was one that I really wanted to play more of, but the unfortunately the multiplayer just wasn't that great, and I really only had wanted to play multiplayer with my wife. But it was this game called Tooth and Tail.
Oh yeah, I know the one.
Yeah, it was kind of like advertised as like a 10-minute RTS match. Which that was it's pretty cool, and I kind of liked how it was. I kind of liked how it was sort of just stripped down to the absolute sort of like bare essentials. So it was fun for what little bit we played, but like I said, the multiplayer issues. But I appreciate it when devs will try and do something like that. Because like a typical strategy game, like they could take a really long time, depending on what type of strategy game you're playing. In case of real-time strategy, if you know what you're doing and things like that, maybe 45 to an hour or something. Maybe less if you're playing, I don't know, maybe like something like StarCraft or something faster. But yeah, they could take a really long time if you're not really sure what you're doing, or if you're like evenly matched.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's it for this month's episode of Humble Talk. If you've gotten to this point in the video and you haven't done it already, what are you doing? Go and hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to watch more videos on games for PC, then go check out Stealthy Shiroean's channel. If you want to watch more videos for Steam Deck, then make sure to search for DeckusHeadus. That's my channel. Whether you're specced out or decked out, keep it humble.